Delighted to have you with us. This is Nightline. I'm Raymond Goh. Our headlines today. Malaysia needs 3 years to get back on track from past administrative and financial problems, says Prime Minister. And foreign companies eyeing stake in Malaysia Airlines, says Tun Dayam. Good morning. The Prime Minister is confident that Malaysia will recover from the administrative and financial problems left behind by the previous administration in 3 years. This is said given the many plans already outlined by the current Pakatan Harapan government, but also called on civil servants to be patient and to work hand in hand with the government to recover the nation. In a speech at the Congress of Unions of Employees in the Public and Civil Services, or QPEX, Premier Assembly with the Prime Minister in Serdang, Selangor on Monday, the Prime Minister noted the importance of understanding that revival efforts cannot be executed through political powers alone. He also stressed the pertinence for all to understand the nation's history and know what is being done by the new government so that they too can extend close cooperation to the government in the interest of the country.
Saya harap kita boleh bersabar. InsyaAllah, kalau kita bekerjasama dalam keadaan aman dan tenteram, maka kita akan dapat pulihkan keuangan negara kita dan juga pembangunan negara kita. Seluruh rakyat, termasuk kerajaan, anggota kerajaan, perlu ikat perut sedikit supaya kita dapat kurangkan perbelanjaan biasa dan kita bayar hutang.
He also explained that a portion of the country's income had to be used to service debts, which caused the government to pay lesser attention to national development. The government will cut down on bureaucratic red tapes of its civil service through systematic work procedures as previously done before. This, says Tun Dr. Mahathir, would provide clear guidelines and reference points to civil servants, further enabling them to identify distinct steps to be taken in executing a work order.
Saya telah bincang dengan KSN untuk nombor satu memperkenalkan balik sistem lama, iaitu sistem desk file, manual of procedure, workflow chart, supaya tiap-tiap pegawai akan tahu apa yang dia perlu buat berkenaan dengan sesuatu permintaan.
While acknowledging the hurdle of bureaucratic red tapes in the civil service, Tun Dr. Mahathir also admitted that work cannot be done without bureaucracy. He, however, said that problems arise when there are too many or unclear processes to doing something. The Prime Minister also urged the public to make the effort to know the relevant procedures that they would be dealing with in obtaining approvals for relevant applications. At the same time, he said the government would work towards providing a procedure book for the public's guidelines. The government is considering reducing electricity tariffs in view of falling coal and gas prices in the international market. Asked by reporters on the government's plan to reduce the rate of electricity tariff following the drop in the prices of coal and gas, Tun Dr. Mahathir said the proposal paper on the matter would be taken to the Cabinet for consideration. Tun Dr. Mahathir said what is important is that the government wants to reduce the cost of living burden borne by the people at the moment. However, he said the tariff rate has yet to be finalized. According to media reports, the price of the United States liquefied natural gas dropped more than 40% since June last year to 26 ringgit 50 cent, which was the lowest since September 2017. Meanwhile, the cargo price of coal for export from the Newcastle terminal for the quarter since the middle of 2018 dropped to below 366 ringgit per tonne for the first time since 2017. The Sultan of Johor, Sultan Ibrahim Almarhum Sultan Iskandar, on Monday ordered the authorities to immediately investigate the pollution in Sungai Benut and Sungai Machap in Simpang Renggam, saying it was believed that contamination had killed the fish in the rivers. In a post on his official Facebook account, Sultan Ibrahim Almarhum Sultan Iskandar said he wanted a thorough probe to ensure that there was no repeat of the Sungai Kim Kim incident. Sultan Ibrahim said he wants the relevant authorities to submit a report on the pollution of the two rivers immediately. Chemical waste dumped into Sungai Kim Kim resulted recently in the release of toxic fumes into the air that sent about 1,000 people to hospital, forcing the closure of all 111 schools in Pasir Gudang and necessitated a massive cleanup of the river. A used tyre processing plant in Pasir Gudang and its two directors have been slapped with 45 counts of charges at the Johor Bahru Magistrates Court on Monday for chemical contamination of Sungai Kim Kim. The accused, 34-year-old Singaporean Wan Jing Chow and 42-year-old local Yap Yok Liang, however, pleaded not guilty to all charges. Wang and Yap and the company they represent, P-Tech Resources, each face 15 counts of charges under Rule 3, Subsection 1 of the Environment Quality Regulations, Scheduled Wastes 2005, under the Environment Quality Act 1974. For the first 7 counts, Wang, Yap and the factory allegedly failed to make any prior notification regarding the removal of scheduled materials. They allegedly committed the act on March 11th at a factory at Jalan Nibong 2 of the Tanjung Langsat Industrial Area in Pasir Gudang. Upon conviction, the accused faces a fine not exceeding 10,000 ringgit or imprisonment of not more than 1 year. For 8 counts involving clean air pollution, Wang, Yap and the company allegedly failed to carry out regular monitoring under the same rules. The offence carries a fine of not more than 100,000 ringgit or imprisonment of not more than 2 years if convicted. Judge Jailani Rahman allowed all the accused bail at a total value of 423,000 ringgit and set April 30th for remention. In the meantime, the Dewan Rakyat was informed that the government has yet to decide on the amount of compensation to victims of the Sungai Kim Kim chemical waste contamination. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail said the government is currently still focusing on the health and treatment of the victims, as well as seeking preventative measures to avoid a repeat of the incident.
Sungai Kim Kim itu adalah salah satu daripada yang baru berlaku dan setakat sekarang apa yang kerajaan telah mengambil bahagian atau mengambil tanggungjawab adalah untuk memberikan mereka kesihatan dan rawatan yang diperlukan setakat ini. Yang lain itu kita sekarang nak mengambil maklum manakah puncanya, bagaimana kita nak mengurangkan ataupun preventive measures dengan izin. Dan yang untuk pampasan tu belum lagi dikira berapa ataupun bagaimana nak diberikan pampasan kepada mereka.
Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah was responding to a supplementary question by Paya Besar MP Muhammad Shaha Abdullah on whether the compensation paid out to the Sungai Kim Kim victims would be the same as those paid out to flood victims or otherwise. Several foreign companies, including from Europe, Asia and the Middle East, are keen to acquire a stake in Malaysia Airlines Berhad MAB. Council of Eminent Persons Chairman Tun Daim Zainuddin said they do not necessarily take over the whole company, but may hold only part of the national carrier's interest that is currently 100% owned by Khazanah Nasional Berhad. In an exclusive interview with TV3, Tun Daim said the aviation sector is becoming more complex and complicated, and it needs huge funds and a number of expertise. Therefore, he said there's nothing wrong if part of Malaysia Airlines' stake is sold to other companies to generate funds and expertise.
Jadi sekarang, alhamdulillah ramai yang tulis nak beli. Nak beli saham dalam mas. Sama ada orang Asia, orang Europe, semua memang ada. Middle East, semua memang dia. Saya dah bagi dia tulis surat kepada kerajaan, ada yang tulis kepada saya pakai Khazanah yang tanggungjawab. Dia buat kajian lah yang mana dia mau gitu. Kan kekal bawa Khazanah, it's okay. Tapi kalau orang lain nak beli saham, dia jual lah, apa salahnya.
So jual stick saja atau?
Jual stick je. the estate. And if they want to bring in expertise, by all means.
Tun Daim said it is vital for the government not to get involved in the daily operations of MAB, but it would suffice to render its assistance by securing lending rights for MAB.
Memerlukan masa berapa tahun lagi lah kalau nak turn around. Kan apa dulu dah ada pun nak turn around gitu gini.
Ya, betul.
Tiba-tiba pergi Amerika nak beli lagi kapal terbang bagi banyak. Kan? Sama ada bincang ramai kita tak tahu lah. Lepas itu kita tahu lah MD cabut.
Tun Daim also stressed that whatever decision the government makes should take into consideration of the future and welfare of more than 13,000 airline staff. After the break, opposition MPs quit PAC over Dato Sri Ronald Kendi's chairmanship. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad gave his commitment that the government would continue to channel all allocations needed by the Royal Malaysia Police, RMP, even though it involves additional costs. He said this commitment would ensure that the police are equipped with the necessary tools needed to improve their capabilities in line with the challenging demands of their duties today.
Sesungguh pun ia melibatkan kos tambahan. Kerajaan akan tetap menyalurkan peruntukan yang diperlukan untuk memastikan pasukan polis kita mempunyai kelengkapan yang sesuai dan up to date.
The Prime Minister said this at the 212th Police Day celebration at the Police Training Centre Pulapol in Kuala Lumpur on Monday. He also congratulated the RMP for their hard work and dedication in keeping the country and its people safe and for eradicating crimes. This is proven through the nation's crime index statistics that have gone down 11.9%. The Prime Minister also noted that the challenges confronting the police force is not only in the context of conventional crime, but also terror threats that are significantly graver and different today, requiring security agencies, especially the police, to be firm, strategic and effective. The government has no plans to buy aircraft from China as of now, responding to a question on his statement on Sunday that Malaysia could retaliate by looking at buying fighter jets from China if the European Union continues its discriminatory stance against Malaysian palm oil. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir explained that the statement was still at the suggestion level.
There was only a suggestion. We haven't made any decision. Also, we may not buy any jets at all.
Asked if there are specific products from China that he was looking at, Tun Dr. Mahathir said there are many. He also said he had written to the EU to explain his position and Malaysia's reaction should the ban continue. All opposition members of Parliament in the Public Accounts Committee, PAC, have resigned with immediate effect to protest the decision made by the government to retain its current chairman. Opposition leader Dato Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said they will not participate in the committee until one among their ranks is chosen to head the parliamentary watchdog. The three who resigned are Jasin MP from BN, Dato Sri Ahmad Hamzah, Parit Sulong MP, also from BN, Dato Noraini Ahmad, and Kota Baru MP, Dato Taqiyuddin Hassan from PAS.
Datuk Seri Ronald Kendi telah pun berpindah parti menjadi sebahagian daripada kerajaan, iaitu menjadi ahli kepada PPBM. Dan selepas keputusan Datuk Seri Ronald Kendi bertukar parti, Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri telah pun membuat kenyataan bahawa Datuk Seri Ronald Kendi akan dikekalkan sebagai pengurusi PAC. Ini jelas bertentangan dengan manifesto dan janji Pakatan Harapan iaitu dalam
Speaking to the media at Parliament lobby on Monday, Datuk Sri Ismail said BN had already given notice of suggestion that Parit Sulong MP Datuk Noraini Ahmad be appointed to the PAC chair, since she had already garnered the support from not only BN and PAS but also MPs from the current administration. However, to date, there has been no response or follow-up to the matter. Meanwhile, Datuk Taqiyuddin, who was present at the press conference, said the Prime Minister does not need to find a new candidate, as the candidate would be selected from the opposition. Meanwhile, Dewan Rakyat Deputy Speaker Nga Kor Ming said the decision on whether or not the current PAC chairman, Datuk Sri Ronald Kendi, will be replaced by an opposition MP will be announced at the right time. The reason, he said, is because the appointment of the new chairman will depend on the cases the committee is currently overlooking.
Berikan sedikit masa, kerajaan akan memilih seorang pengurusi PAC yang baru pada masa yang sesuai. Memandangkan ketika ini banyak kes yang sedang pun didengar oleh PAC. Saya rasa pihak di mana pejabat speaker dan juga kerajaan, kita akan mencari satu masa yang sesuai untuk memilih seorang pengurusi baru mengikut apa yang dikatakan oleh Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri.
Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Muhammad Fuzi Harun has confirmed that the investigation paper on the scuffle involving several University Malaya UM students being manhandled by supporters of former Prime Minister Datuk Sri Muhammad Najib Tun Razak will be submitted to the Attorney General's chambers on Tuesday. He said police had so far received 11 reports over the incident.
In fact, kita akan submit paper ke AG besok. 26 statement telah pun diambil.
Mana ada tindakan detail.
The top cop also said that the police are awaiting further instructions from the Attorney General. On Friday, a scuffle broke out at a restaurant in front of UM between the university students and Datuk Sri Najib supporters who were there for a meet and greet session with the former Prime Minister. Datuk Sri Najib supporters also reportedly harassed 2 journalists who were covering the event. 6 employees of a security company remanded to assist probe into the robbery involving an armoured cash delivery van loaded with 5,000 ringgit at the Rawang R&R of the Plus Expressway on March 12th were released on police bail on Monday. Gombak District Police Chief ACP Samsul Marov said investigations revealed that the 6 were not involved in the heist. He said police are now in pursuit of 3 other suspects who are still at large. In Pahang, a man was charged at the Temerloh Sessions Court for allegedly causing the death of another man who was believed to have stolen bananas from his father at Kampung Paya Lang in Bera. The accused, 22-year-old Lau Ke Shen, however, pleaded not guilty to the charge. The case is trialled under the Penal Code, which carries an imprisonment of 30 years upon conviction. In Sarawak, a woman has been detained for allegedly injuring her husband's girlfriend, who is also married, with a knife after they had a threesome. Cebu OCPD Assistant Commissioner Stanley Jonathan Ringgit said the 46-year-old, who is a coffee shop attendant, was arrested shortly after the alleged incident. The case is being investigated under the Penal Code for voluntarily causing grievous hurt by dangerous weapons or means. When we come back, Thailand's first post-coup elections results delayed amid cheating allegations. Details next. Thanks for staying with us. The Thai Election Commission EC has announced that the country's official general election voting results would be delayed and announced only on May 9th. According to its spokesperson, the reason to vote that the vote counting ended at 95% of the vote count on Sunday was due to election regulations and to allow time for investigations to clear any irregularities and also to avoid confusion. The unofficial results from this national election were originally expected Sunday night, hours after polls closed. Preliminary unofficial results for 350 parliamentary seats show that the Pheu Thai party leads with 137 seats, while the pro-military party Palang Pracharat holds 97, while the remaining 234 seats were shared among 7 other parties. There are an additional 150 party list seats allocated under a complex formula, yet to be tallied and will only be known on May 9th. The delays have caused anger and suspicion amongst some Thais about an election commission handpicked by the military junta. This has been made worse by allegations of irregularities, with reports some polling stations had almost twice as many votes as registered voters. New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern has announced on Monday a Royal Commission inquiry into the events leading up to March 15th attack on 2 mosques in Christchurch that killed 50 people, including the country's intelligence services. Ardern said a Royal Commission, which are independent inquiries and are usually reserved for matters of the greatest public importance, was an appropriate response to the attack.
How this terror attack was able to happen here. This includes questions around the accessibility of semi-automatic weapons, the role social media has played generally, and the focus of the intelligence and security services. There are questions I too have asked and of course want answers to as well. In short, the inquiry will look at what could have or should have been done to prevent the attack.
She also said that any threats made to the Muslim community after the mosque attack was utterly despicable. In Christchurch, visitors to makeshift memorials continued in droves on Monday, 10 days after a mass shooting at 2 mosques rocked the city to its core.